All right, it is live, so I'll post the YouTube link on the chat.
Oops, that's me. Thank you.
Wait, how come it shows the hose?
All right, I think I have to click on Ryan. Okay, it's good now, right? Wait, we can still see the people, right? Hmm.
Hi, all. Thanks for coming to our game webinar. We'll be getting started in a few minutes, so we're just going to wait for more people to come. Thanks for waiting. Hi, hello, friends. We're just going to wait a few more minutes for more people to come. Thanks for coming and joining us tonight, and we hope you're as excited for Crazy Komp as we are. Yay! All right, hi everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining us tonight for the Crazy Komp for Infants Games webinar. We'll be going over the rules and games that you can expect to play and see at Crazy Competition for Infants North and South. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started first with introducing our hosts.
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Rendell Lopez. I'll be your CKI North chair. I attend school at UN Reno. My major is business administration. And my favorite Crazy Komp memory is probably bonding with new members over a lot of jump rope fails.
Hi y'all, I'm Shaira. I'm really excited to serve as your district treasurer this year. I currently am a fourth year at UC Berkeley studying bio, and my favorite Crazy Komp memory was going to CKI South last year for the first time and just seeing how spirited everyone was.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Luong, and I am your CKI South chair for this year. I am currently a fourth-year human biology major at UC San Diego, and my favorite Crazy Komp memory was this past year at my first Crazy Komp for 2017, and basically, during one of the cup relay games, I got really excited, and I got memed at my school. And then here's the picture of it.
So I'll be talking about what is Crazy Komp. So Crazy Competition for Infants is also known as CKI North for the northern half of the district, or CKI South for the southern half. It's the first annual district fundraising event of the academic year, where all proceeds are donated to pediatric trauma program through a day filled with fun, competitive mini games and relays. So the pediatric trauma program is a charity established by Connie's Cal-Nev-Ha Foundation in 1994, which focuses on the need for education and training in pediatric trauma and injury prevention. The whole purpose of the program is to develop local service projects to educate people of children's safety to decrease the number of children who are severely injured or killed due to traumatic unintentional injuries. Funds raised are used to purchase safety equipment, provide proper training to medical staff, and support projects created by our 6 partner hospitals. So for those of you who are experiencing Crazy Komp for their first time, I want to say that I'm happy that y'all signed up. And those who signed up for judges, I appreciate y'all helping us making this event go smoothly.
So at Crazy Komp North and South, there are four different types of attendees. First and foremost, this event would not be possible without our players. Players can participate in a team of 6 with the option of adding 1 alternate to play the games. And one cool fact is that team members don't have to be from the same school. Whether you're there just to participate or you're in it to win it, there's teams for everyone. And if you don't want to partake in the games, it's all right because we got other opportunities for you. One of which is to join in as a spectator. If you want to be a part of the action, but not really, then you can join us in watching the games and cheering on your friends. It's almost like playing the games, but you're not actually.
So next, another option for attendees to participate and to support Crazy Komp without playing in the games is to serve as an on-site first aid medic. So you do need to be CPR and first aid certified. But if you are, it's not too late to sign up. You can check out the form at tinyurl.com/crazykomp18JSM. So you'll be asked to provide certifications of when you were certified for first aid and CPR. But so by serving as a medic, you'll be able to get service hours and you'll be able to help ensure that players and members stay safe at the event. Next, if you like rules like the Laws and Regulations Committee, you can serve as a judge for the event and help ensure that the games are scored fairly and that they run smoothly. Unfortunately, signups for judges are closed at this time, but just shout out to all the people who have signed up as a judge. This event would not be possible without all of your help. So yeah.
So the first game that I'll be talking about is Survivor Relay. So the way that these slides will go is the first slide will be the instructions, so telling you how to play, while the second slide will talk about the rules and scoring. And most of our slides are filled with GIFs of how the game is shown visually, so that way you're able to know how to work it. So in Survivor Relay, all players on the team are going to participate. Each player will have a designated role in this game. So player 1 will run through a set of hula hoops, alternating their feet in each hoop. So like left, right, left, right. Once the player is finished, he or she will tag player 2. And then player 2 will head towards the jump rope and begin jump roping to the table. And back while players 3 and 4 will swing the rope. Players 5 and 6 will work together to push a ball using their head across the field to the other side. It's like wheelbarrow style, and then they'll run back. Once they finish, player 1 will run to the table and complete the Survivor style puzzle. Time is only stopped when all members are sitting on the ground. So the only rule for Survivor Relay is if player 2 makes a mistake while jump roping, they do not have to restart or start all over. If they do make a mistake, they do have to start from where they messed up. And then how scoring will work is points will be given based on the amount of time it took for your team to finish the relay. So the faster you finish, the more points you get.
The next game we're going to introduce is called Blind Mice. So in this game, all 6 team members will be participating, and each of the 6 players will be split into pairs. So you'll have a player 1 and player 2. Player 1 will be blindfolded, while player 2 will be verbally directing player 1 to go pick up balls with their assigned color in the arena. And one caveat is that only player 1 is allowed to pick up a maximum of 2 balls at one time. And after player 1 has picked up 1 or 2 balls, player 2 will then direct them back to their station and drop the balls back into their designated bucket. And both player 1 and player 2 must go back into the arena and pick up the balls. The rules for this game are pretty simple. Only player 1 and player 2 must tag the next team after picking up 1 or 2 balls. So you have the so each pair has the option of picking up just 1 ball and then returning to their station and tagging in the next pair. In addition, player 2 may not physically direct player 1 to any of the balls or touch any of the balls. And players are not permitted to push each other. Points will be determined based on how many correctly colored balls each team has in their bucket at a given time. And no points will be given for any ball that is not the team's assigned color.
So our next game for y'all is called Candy Catchers, and the game is just like how it sounds. You'll be catching candy in buckets. So similarly to Blind Mice, teams will be paired up into 3 different pairs, and each member in a pair will be designated player 1 or player 2. Player 1 will be blindfolded and given a bucket that is full of candy, and they'll be standing with their back to player 2. Player 2 will have their own bucket, and they must catch the candy that player 1 throws behind them. So after a certain amount of time, the next pair in each team will switch off and play the game. So for this game, player 1 can only throw one piece of candy at a time, and they can't hand the candy to player 2. They must stay with their back facing player 2, so they can't turn around or take off their blindfold or anything like that. Additionally, player 2 can only catch the candy using their bucket. They can't touch it. They can't pick up the candy with their hands or touch it and then put it in their bucket later on. And if any candy falls on the floor, player 2 is not allowed to pick it up. So points will be given based on the number of candies that each team has in their buckets at the end of the round.
So the next game that I'll be talking about is Cone Reflex. So the way it works is 2 opposing teams will line up facing each other in any order they choose. Afterwards, members will squat in front of the cones in front of them. There will be 6 at play at a time. So one judge will be calling out cues where members' hands where they should be. So the judge could be saying head, knee, floor, or cone. And they must do so as quickly as possible. Once the judge calls out cone, player must try to grab the cone before their opponent can, as fast as they can. So the way that the rules work is players have to listen to the judge's commands only. If a player fails to listen and follow the rules, they will forfeit their cone to the other team, essentially giving the opposing team a point. If neither player secures a cone, the round will repeat for them until one person secures the cone. The way that scoring will work is points will be given to each team based on the number of times they were able to successfully secure the cone before the other team can.
The next game that is going to be part of Crazy Komp is called Spelling Search. And to play this game, all 6 team members will be participating, and Easter eggs will be scattered across the designated area, and each egg will contain one letter with a point value assigned to it, similar to Scrabble or Words with Friends. And one at a time, each member will be allowed to run and grab an egg from the arena and come back and tag the next person in, who will then run out and grab another one. After eggs have been gathered, teams will use the letters that they have in order to spell out as many words as they can, with each letter being used only once. During this game, a player can only grab one egg at a time, but players may open the eggs as they collect them when they return to their station. And collected letters can only be used once, but if you have multiples of the same letter, you can use those as long as you have like those specific letters. And points will only be given for words that can be found in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Teams will be scored according to the point value of each word that they create, and they will also be given points for each word formed by teams.
So an important aspect of Crazy Komp is the fact that it raises all profits raised go towards the pediatric trauma program, which is one of our district fundraising initiatives. And so one of the game stations that will be part of the rotations that teams will be participating in is a PTP workshop, just to educate members about what the cause is and what the money we raise goes towards. At the end of the workshop, we'll have a little game called Face Off. So each team will be standing in a single file line facing the same direction, and each team will be given a whiteboard with a marker. Judges will ask a question using information from the PTP workshop or just pulling from general CNH district trivia, like what our other DFIs are or what our DSI are, or what our DSI is, things like that, just to allow new members and returning members to test their knowledge about the district and learn more about what CNH is and what we do. So the player at the front of the line will answer the question that the judge asks, and they'll keep it hidden until judges ask players to reveal their answers. And points will be given based on the number of correct answers that players can give. However, the player answering the question cannot receive any help from the rest of their teammates or from anyone else. And points will be deducted if this rule is broken. So the whiteboard will be passed down along the line as players answer questions so that everyone will get a turn to be asked a question and answer it.
So after hearing about all these games, you might be wondering, oh, how can I get more points outside of just playing the games? Well, in this case, we will be having a bonus challenge the day of both Crazy Komp North and South, but that will be released at a later date, so stay tuned for that.
So you might also be wondering, where are the quarterfinals, semifinals, and final games? So the quarters, finals, semifinals, and finals are hidden and kept as a surprise until the day of the event. So that way, no team has an advantage for preparing for these types of games.
Wow, that sounds like a blast. How do I sign up? Said by a Circle K member. So if you're interested in attending Crazy Komp, you can check out our website at crazykomp.cnhcirclek.org, as well as our Facebook event pages, which are linked on the slide. Feel free to check out these resources. It'll give you more information on how to register and how to sign up and attend the event.
So while you guys ask YouTube comments, we do have some questions that people asked before, such as someone asked, do you need to be a dues paid member in order to attend Crazy Komp? So the answer is no. All attendees must either be one, dues paid member of Kiwanis or Circle K, two, prospective Circle Kers who are currently enrolled at an institution where a chartered or chartering club is located, or three, given explicit permission from the district administrator Mondo to attend.
So another question that we received is, how much are registration prices? So for pre-registration, for players, it's $8 per player, and pre-registration is due for North on September 27th, and for South, it's due on September or October 6th. But at the same time, if you miss pre-registration, there's also on-site registration at $12 per player. And for spectators, judges, and medics, registration is only $5.
So another question that is asked is, how big are teams? So teams consist of 6 players with the option of 1 alternate.
So one question that we got was, how does parking work? Speaking for CKI South, since this is a new park, it's going to be different from previous years. But this year at Ralph B. Clark Regional Park, parking will be $5 due in cash at the entrance of the park. But however, this can be split with people in your car. And if you have a full car, that's approximately $1 per person. However, there is a lot of parking around the park, so you shouldn't worry about like trying to find parking.
So for CKI North, the same kind of goes for North. So at Tahoe Park, there'll be a lot of side streets where you could just park on the side and you won't be charged for it.
Another question that we were asked is, are there vegan or vegetarian lunch options? And if there are, do you need a head count prior to Crazy Komp? There will be lunch options for vegans and vegetarians and people with dietary restrictions at both North and South. We don't need a head count. We'll be serving those with dietary restrictions first before everyone else. So just at the beginning of lunch, we'll be asking those who are vegan or vegetarian to come forward to the front of the line, and they'll be served first.
So another question that was asked is, can we alter our teams after they've been registered? So then the answer is yes, you're allowed to switch teams. Just make sure that you have a club representative, such as a club president or treasurer, provide a list of all the finalized teams at on site.
Another question that we got was, can clubs register with incomplete teams? Of course. So the simple answer is yes. We recommend that you reach out to your home club and division, or ask around during general meetings first. But if you do struggle to find a complete team, there you're still welcome, and we will be combining incomplete teams on site.
And then another question that is asked is, can team member or can formed by members from different schools? The answer is yes. Just make sure that you submit registration through their respective schools and indicate on the registration form that they are on a team comprised of members from different schools.
And then one question also is, are teams required to dress up and have a theme? No, you aren't required to dress up or have a theme, but it's definitely encouraged, just to get into the spirit of the games. One thing that UCSD did last year was that we got, for all the teams, we got bandanas for like all the teams, just to show just to show like unity and spirit. And one thing that we did to make our teams a little more distinct was that we had every team kind of had like a theme or like dress up in a certain way. So for us, we had extra club shirts from past years, so each team had like a different club shirt from like a different club shirt from different years.
Another question that we were asked is, when and where do we submit waivers for the event? So waivers must be filled out for all attendees. So that includes all players, spectators, judges, and medics. And they should be sent in with your club's early registration payment and registration forms. However, in the case that you forget, or if your members forget to turn them in, we do accept waivers on site and we will have some available. However, we do recommend bringing your own waiver just to ensure that you have a copy and just to be prepared. So yeah, make sure for any attendees or any members who are interested in going out, make sure to sign a waiver and submit it to your club treasurer so that they can submit it with their early registration forms. And those forms will be sent to the CNH Kiwanis District Office, and the address is written on the registration form.
So another question I was asked is, I just signed up to be a judge. How can I request to judge a particular game? So judges will be sent a Google form after the webinar where they can input their top 3 preferences for which game they want to score during the event. Although we will try our best to give you the one of your top 3 choices, we cannot make any guarantees.
So next, someone else asked, I attend a quarter system school and we only have a few weeks to advertise Crazy Competition for Infants to new members. How can we encourage members to attend without having to pay the on-site registration price? So we understand as a district that the early registration deadline is very close to when quarter schools start, especially for those in the north. So in previous years, clubs have been able to circumvent this, this time crunch by reserving spots for members and just listing member number 1/member number 2, etc. on their registration forms. And they basically reserve those spots and pay the early registration price. Then as new members express interest, newer returning members express interest for the event and they sign up, they are able to take one of those reserved spots and pay the early registration price. So that is one way that you can advertise to your new members and encourage them to come out without having to pay the on-site registration price. And as we mentioned earlier, at the event, a club representative, such as a club treasurer or a club president, can provide a list of finalized teams. So that will be able to let us know who the finalized attendees are for your club. And if you find that you can't fill all the spots that you reserved with your club members, you can definitely advertise to your division to fill them in and encourage them to make teams with your club so that y'all can bond and get to know each other throughout the event. Next, another question that was asked is if you signed up to be a judge/spectator or medic for Crazy Competition for Infants, how do you submit payment for your registration fees? So I just want to make a clarification. Medics don't have to pay. On-site first aid medics do not have to pay for registration. They attend the event for free. But there are registration fees for judges and spectators, which can be mailed in with your club's early registration fees. However, in the case that you forget to submit your payment or you forget to let your treasurer know that you have signed up as a judge or spectator, you are allowed to pay on-site at the event. There will be a specific table for y'all to check in and pay. So make sure to bring your payment and to bring your waiver for judges and spectators.
So one question that we got was, is there going to be a workshop like last year? If this is regarding the PTP workshop, the PTP workshop will be part of the rotations, and that will be followed up by Face Off, the game. However, if regarding like a workshop for judges, more information will, once judges are confirmed, more information will be sent out regarding that.
So another question that was asked is, what if your club is missing a person for a full team and the division doesn't have anyone to sub in and you're a judge? Can you switch to go onto a team? And in the case that that does happen, we ask that you let us know ahead of time if you can. And in the circumstances that it has to happen on site and you can't find anyone to fill in that one spot on your team, we do allow judges to switch from a judge to a player if they would like to. The finance and fundraising committee and the district board will be able to fill in like those that spot to be a judge if it is needed. So that definitely doesn't need to be like an issue or concern. We just wanted to make sure that y'all are having fun and are able to compete in as many complete teams as possible. And also just to clarify, if you do switch from being a judge to, or a judge or spectator to serving on a team, you will need to pay the price in order to participate as a player. And alternatively, it unfortunately doesn't work the other way around. So if you are registered as a player, you can't become a judge on site. However, if you are registered as a player, you can become a spectator. So I hope that makes sense. And if there's any confusion regarding that, just feel free to ask. but that's just because judges need to be more familiar with the games and need to be assigned to particular games and understand how the scoring works. So that's why we unfortunately can't let people become judges on site, and that's why we have judge signups before the event. So we're just going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes for any last minute questions to come in. And if you do have a question and we weren't able to get to it, we will be having our contact information in a later slide. So feel free to contact us at any time through email or Facebook Messenger, and we'll be happy to answer your question.
So a question that was asked is, what do you recommend we do if we want to prep for competing in CKI games? So one of the things you could do is review back to the webinar and look at all the games. Another thing you could do is look at the playbook that we released on both pages. And then a third thing you could do is practice with your team on, like, get together and just practice all the games.
And one note is that we will be releasing the slides after this webinar. So people will have access to the GIFs that Shaira made for this webinar. And so you'll have like a little, between that and the playbook, you should get a more detailed idea of how the games are played. And at the same time, unrelated to the games, the best way to get ready for Crazy Komp is to like pump up like your like members, like get a theme going for your team, and definitely don't forget to have fun with it.
All right, so if there are no further, just kidding. We have a few more questions. So first, is there a break between the games? So yes, we do have a 15-minute break in between the first 3 rounds of games and the last 3 rounds. And then after those 6 rounds are over, we transition into lunch and divisional council meetings with your own respective divisions. And you can find the full schedule online at the website or in the event descriptions for both the North and the South. Next, someone asked, how will weather impact Crazy Kompetition? For example, what will happen if it rains? So it is an outdoor event, and it is really difficult to plan for the weather in those circumstances. However, we will do our best to like plan accordingly. So for example, if it does rain, and if we do need to cancel the event due to like weather, then there's not much that we can do. However, I think that we can still work around like, you know, a light drizzle if it doesn't severely impact like members, or if it's not too dangerous. But there are ways to circumvent the weather and like to work around it. And so please hope for good weather and a lot of sunshine like previous years. All right, so if there are no more questions, we're going to be wrapping up this webinar. I just wanted to say a big thank you again to everyone who came through and who got a little sneak peek of the games. We hope that this webinar was able to you know, pump y'all up and have you as excited for this event as the Finance and Fundraising Committee is. So thank you for coming. This is our contact information. Feel free to email us any questions that you may have. And if you want any clarification on anything that we said, just feel free to let us know. And yeah, make sure to sign in at tinyurl.com/gameswebinar18 to receive MRP credit. And remember to register and sign up with your clubs to go to Crazy Komp. Thanks again, and we'll see y'all at CKI North and South. Have a good night, y'all.